Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is me, Farid Safi, and I'm your IELTS trainer. Today, we are going to have our free IELTS orientation class. Among all of you, there would be different type of students. I do not say that it would be your first time like coming to know about the IELTS. Uh, Either if this is your first time like knowing about IELTS, or if you have already taken classes, or you know little bit clear. The basic information about the class would be provided to you, like what IELTS test is and what we will be covering, clear. All type of things, inshallah, will be covered up in today's session. Let's move on in what we will have in our free IELTS orientation. We will be covering up like what is IELTS. First of all, we will talk about what is IELTS. Then we will talk about test format and grade scores. Then after that, we will come up towards that of listening. Then we will move with academic reading, academic writing, speaking, and then we will talk about that of how to apply for the test, clear. And if you wanted to have classes with us, what would be the process, clear, and how we can go with them. So let's move on. First of all, let's talk about what really IELTS it is. As I said earlier that I myself, I'm IELTS trainer and I train students. Physically, I take classes at Excel Learners Academy, Peshawar. If anyone who was interested, like if you live in Peshawar nearby, you can come to like in-person classes, you can go for campus classes. But if you live in remote place, it's not possible for you, then what we can do, we can go for online classes. How we will go on online classes the same way I'm taking right now with you people, Claire. It will be easy way because we do have experience in taking online classes. So this is not a big problem for us. Either if you go for the campus classes or if you want to join for online, both inshallah will be the same, Claire. There wouldn't be any type of differences for you. Let's come up with that of what really IELTS is. We will talk about IELTS. Everybody understands, Claire, this is like English test, English language test, where you will be check Claire ability of like to communicate Claire properly in English. The test, Claire, entirely, it has been like taken by two subsidiaries in Pakistan. That is like one is British Council, everybody knows that, and the second one is AEO. Depends on you. Both are working like for Cambridge University. Both are working for the sake of like preparing, you know, the taking the test from the students. So depends on you. Either you want to go for AEO, Claire, or British Council. So there isn't any difference. It does not make any differences. Complete entire test that you will go, Claire, it will be for 2 hours and 45 minutes time. Like without break, we will go like the entire test, Claire. It will cover up 2 hours and 45 minutes time. It will take from you. And this time, Claire, how the test it will be. As I told you that your test would be in 4 modules. There would be 4 modules that you will go through. And among them, we have the number one, Claire, you will go with your listening module. Second one, there is reading. Third, we have writing. And finally, you will move with that of your speaking module. Look, these three of them, Claire, listening, reading, and writing, these 3 modules, all these 3 modules will be on the same day. These 3 will be on the same day. And where so far your speaking is concerned, it could be on a different day. Maximum time that they can take, Claire, that can be a week. For example, suppose today you had your written test, Claire. That is about listening, reading, and that of your writing, Claire. That is today. Next week, Claire, maximum time you can take, that is after a week, 1 week, you can have rest of your modules, that is the speaking. Or suppose today you had your speaking, after a week, Claire, after a week, you can have that of your listening, reading, and writing. Remember that we do not have, Claire, any break between listening, reading, and writing. But there is a gap, maximum 1 week time, Claire, and minimum you can have a day. Like suppose you had your listening, reading, and writing today, and by tomorrow, Claire, or after 2 days or after 3 days, you can have your speaking. Or you might have your speaking first, today's your speaking, after 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days, you can have rest of them. Now, let's talk about, like, first of all, Claire, there are two types of tests for the IELTS. That is general, IELTS general, and IELTS academic. Here we have mentioned even IELTS academic, and the second one we go for that of IELTS general test. These are the two. Among these two tests, what we have that listening, academic, first of all, let me guide you that IELTS academic students, those students, if you are interested going abroad for the sake of education purpose, like purpose of going abroad, clear, that is for the sake of education, getting like any degree or doing any course, clear. So you should go for that of your IELTS academic one. But if you want to go for the sake of immigration, you want to live, clear, or you want to do business abroad, then you should go for that of IELTS general one, clear. The next one, that is IELTS general. Now, what we want to have here, that if you want to go for like general or academic, any one of them, listening and speaking, these two are the same. Like, either if you want to go for IELTS academic or for IELTS general, clear, the speaking test, it would be the same format, the way like that of for the academic. And same is the case with that of your listening, clear. So the same format, the way is for the academic, you will also go for the general test. So far, the differences come, clear. The differences are in reading and writing one. These two, reading format for the reading, clear, and the format for your writing, it varies, clear, that there are changes. What are the changes, clear? What are the things? We move ahead, clear, and we will be discussing about them. What changes do we have and them? Let's move on and talk about them, please. Now, let's come up, clear. Like in IELTS, what do we have? In IELTS, we have got a band system, clear. There is a system by the name of band. And for that of your band system, clear, overall band, like total band we have, you can say score. Total score we have in IELTS, there is 9. Overall, we have got 9 score. That is, it starts from 0, clear, from 0 to 9. And how like you will be given clear score and how the things are, we will be discussing gradually. But in IELTS, what we have in IELTS, we have that of our band system, clear, and that band system ranges from 1 till 9. So let's move on and talk about them. Let's come up with these type of questions, Claire. Suppose so far your writing and speaking are concerned, these two, Claire, it would be checked by human, Claire, like by any person, by the examiner. So I'm not talking about that because it depends on examiner, like, you know, how he checks and you will be given marks. But we will talk about our listening and reading score. Suppose there is a student, Claire, and he needs 6 band, 7 band, or 8 or 9 band. This is the criteria, Claire. Down we have got the criteria. This is the entire criteria for listening one. In listening, total number of questions we have got 40. And suppose if there is a student, Claire, and he wants to get how much score? He wants to get that of our 7 score, Claire. So 7 for 7, he needs to get 23, 22 to 36, Claire. If he scores till 32 till 36, so he can move for that of your 7 band. And so far, like the same is the case over there for the reading one, Claire. For the reading, if you score, like there are 40 questions overall. Among 40 questions, if you score 29, even, like you will get what? You will get 7 score. Why did I like I focus more on 7? Because majority of the students, they are struggling to get 7 band and they're reading, writing, and listening. Now, first of all, we will move with that of the listening. Overall, Claire, we're going to have a quick view, Claire, of that of your listening part, that how we will go and what is inside that of your listening one. Listening, Claire, in listening part, listening is the first part of your IELTS test, Claire. This would be your first portion. Listening, you will have 4 sections in it, Claire. so far we come up with the with the listening part. Is today's our overview, like our orientation class. So I'm not going to go in complete details, Claire, but I want to give you the basic information about all of them, that how we will go and what are in the classes. Listening is the first part in your written test. As I told you, there are 4 modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So first of all, if you go with your writing, Claire, writing class, if you're taking that one, Claire, your IELTS writing. So in writing, listening would be the first part. Total time it will take from you, that would be 30-second time. Now here you should remember a few of the things, that if you want to go for the listening part, as I mentioned here, that it will take how much time from us? 30 minutes time it will take. And among that 30 minutes time, we will be covering up 4 sections: section 1, section 2, section 3, and section 4. Each section, Claire, it contains how much marks? 10 marks. 10 questions, I would say, Claire. 10 questions are there, each section. If you multiply 10 multiply by 4, as I mentioned, that we have got total that of our the complete entire questions, Claire, there are how many? We have got 4 sections, and each section has how many questions? 10 questions. So total number of questions, we will have 40 questions in it. Now, if you want to solve your listening, so listening must be solved by question paper. First of all, we solve it on question paper. First of all, we solve it on question paper, and it will take 30 minutes time from us. After 30 minutes time, at the end, Claire, you will be provided extra minutes. Claire, how many minutes will be given to you? You will be provided with 10 extra minutes time. And if the 10 extra minutes time will be provided to you for the sake of transferring your answers from the question paper towards that of your answer sheet. Finally, you will be provided 10 minutes time to transfer your questions, because as I mentioned earlier, that you have to solve your listening part on your question paper, not on your answer sheet straight away, because it will be like a very fast way of doing that, Claire. It will not be possible for you to keep writing down over there and going like, also like solving your paper and writing your answer on the answer sheet. It will be not, it won't be possible for you, Claire. So best way is what? That solve your question, all the things on your question paper, and later on what you can do, you should move on, Claire, towards that of your answer sheet to solve that. There are a lot number of things, Claire. What would be the tracks? What would be the strategies for different type of question? What strategies can be followed, Claire? We will be talking later on, but I just want to give you a quick review over here. What are the problems were there, Claire? Before you listen, what would be the problems there? How can you go? How to find out the answer? What are the, what do we call, like, what are the techniques for solving different type of question? What strategies we can follow there? What steps we can provide you to solve properly, Claire? As I mentioned earlier, that we will have in your listening part, total number of section, there would be how many? 4 sections: section 1, section 2, section 3, and section 4. There are 4 sections, Claire, in our listening. Section 1 is the easiest part, Claire, in listening. So I always suggest my students that you need to perform better in the first 2, Claire. That is section 1. So you need to try to get 10 out of 10 in section 1 and section 2, because these 2 sections are the easiest sections. Section 1 and section 2 are the easiest one, and you can quite easily get what? 10 out of 10 in it. Section 1 is usually, Claire, it's a telephonic conversation. You will hear, first of all, a telephonic conversation. There would be a conversation on telephone. For example, telephonic conversation would be like this. There would be 2 people, like the speakers. They will be talking on a telephone, Claire, on any of the topics, Claire. It can be a social topic or anyone. For example, you call to Safi IELTS Studio, Claire, and you want to get information about IELTS. So the administrator, he responds you, he asks you question, you ask him question like, what's your name, Claire? Where are you from? you will ask like when IELTS class will start, clear, duration of IELTS class, fee for IELTS class, who is taking, who is the instructor. So the administrator can ask you, tell me about your address, tell me about your email, clear. Different type of questions can be asked from you. So it's very easy to fill it out. When we move to part 2, clear, when we come up towards this, one thing you should keep in your mind that your listening is both monologue plus dialogue. Monologue means when there is only one person, whereas your dialogue is concerned, clear, dialogue means there is two people, clear, there would be dialogue. So two people will be over there. So you should know about that your listening is clear. Your listening is both monologue plus dialogue. While practicing for understanding, clear, or to get good score in your listening part in IELTS, you need to practice, clear, those books like that has been provided to you by Cambridge. So that those are like the previous exam papers, clear, so that can provide you better options, that can provide you better solution for that, so you can start working on them, clear. So as the second part, let's move on towards the second portion. So in second portion, what you will have, it will be a monologue. Monologue means one person will talk. It will be a talk by a single speaker, clear. He can talk about any topic, and there will be 10 questions, clear. As I mentioned earlier, that each section contains how many questions? It contains only 10. 10 for the first one, 10 for the second part. If you come towards the second, again it will be there. And section 3, again 10 questions, and section 4 you will have 10 questions each. So total number of questions there are 40. When you move to section 3, once you are done with section 2, you will move to section 3. Section 3, clear, it is again a dialogue. Section 3 is about dialogue. Number of people you will have, it will ranges from 1 to 4 speakers. Number of speakers can be like from 1 to 4, clear, and they can talk about different type of topics, clear, but it will be an academic topic. The topic they're going to talk about, for example, let me give an example. There are 4 friends and they want to talk about a scholarship. So one of the friends, he said that, for example, Australia is better for getting scholarship. There would be another person, he will be talking about another place, that place is better. Someone can say that UK is better, my friends live there, or my family members live there, clear. So you can talk about different sort of things. In part 4, you will have again, clear, it's a monologue. You will have only one speaker. The number of people living here, it would be how many? There would be only one person. It's a type of university lecture. A lecturer provides you a lecture, and it's based on notes taking, clear. You'll be taking notes. So it was a general, clear. We talked about the general overview for the listening. Those students, they are not aware of the format there, they can understand. It does not mean that, look, we have given name of this class, you know, about free orientation class for IELTS. Listening, while we start doing listening, it will take almost, clear, 12 days from us to cover it up. It will be covered in 12 classes, clear. I just want to give you a quick review about all of them, that those students, if they're not aware, so they can understand. And listening part, clear, you can be asked about different type of question. The question can be about like labeling a map, clear type of question. It can come, you may see on your screen, labeling a map. There could be a type of question for you. There could be another type of question, clear, like complete the table. There could be a type of question, clear, related to like fill in the blanks type of question. Are there short answer questions? Are there? So there are different number of questions could come to you. Multiple choice questions are there. So you should know about, you know, there are various number of questions can come in, how to solve them. So once we start a class, one by one, we will study that. If we come up towards that of the next module, clear, reading, sorry. The second module you will have about reading. So what we will have in the reading, clear, total time for the reading we will have, that is 1 hour. Total time you will have 1 hour time, clear, and 1 hour time we need to cover up 3, clear. We will cover up 3 passages, passage 1, passage 2, and passage 3. Each passage contains different type of questions there. Each passage will contain, as I said, passage 1, it will contain 13 to 14 questions. Passage 2, again we have passage 2, again it will contain either 13 or 14 questions. If you move with that of passage 3, again, it will contain 13 or 14 questions. So total number of questions in reading part, we will have 40 questions. Clear? We will have 40 questions. And what we suggest our students to spend 20 minutes time on passage 1 and 20 minutes time on passage 2, 20 minutes time on your passage 3. Clear? So total time it will take from you that in your IELTS reading part, clear, it will take overall 60 minutes time from us. So entire time it can take from us, that would be 60 minutes, I mean 1 hour time. Clear? And we will be solving different type of questions while doing it. So the type of questions can be varied. Different type of questions will be asked, clear? And inside the class, we will be covering up like what different type of questions are there. For example, the type of question, it can come in your reading part, that's summary completion. So how to solve summary completion? What are the strategies? What are the techniques, clear? What are the tips to perform it, clear? So we will study about that type of question, like summary completion. There is like matching headings type of questions, paragraph heading. So what are paragraph headings? How we can go with all these things? We will study about them. Then we come up like yes, no questions, true, true, false, not given type of question, multiple choice questions are there, clear? So table completion type of questions are there, matching causes and effect type of questions are there, sentence completion type of questions. So there are different type of questions that we will go with. Then we will go with that of academic writing. And academic writing, we have got like 2 tasks, task 1, task 2. Task 1, it takes like total time for writing, that would be 1 hour. Task 1, it takes 20 minutes time. Task 2, it takes 40 minutes time from us. Task 1, we need to write down, it can be like, for academic one, what we will be given, we will be provided with a graph. And then we need to go for the graph to explain that graph in 150 words, clear? What type of graphs can be given, we will talk about them. Then going to task 2, you will be provided with an essay, how to write down an essay, clear? We will discuss about that. So like these are these are the graphs. Table, clear? We can be provided with a table. How to explain table, clear? How to write down about table. What I mean, how to write introduction, how to go with the overview paragraph, and what means that, how we can explain them. We will talk in the class. That's about graph, clear? Line graph is here. There's the flow chart. We can have pie chart. There is a diagram, and there are bar graph, clear? Or bar chart. So these are different type of questions that can be asked from us, and how to explain inside the classroom, we will study them. For each type of question, clear, there would be different strategies will be followed, and vocabulary is completely different. What type of vocabulary can be utilized over there, we will study inside the class. Finally, like if you come up with it of the speaking part, in speaking part, we can have 3 parts, part 1, part 2, and part 3. There are 3 parts in the speaking part. Part 1, you will be asked, like we call it an introduction. Easy type of questions will be asked from you. It will be related to you, clear? It can take 4 to 5 minutes time from you. Once you are done with the introduction, you will move with that of your part 2. That is called cue card. Cue card will be provided to you, and you will have 1 minute time to prepare yourself. And after preparation, you need to talk for 1 to 2 minutes time for that of your topic. Then part 3, there will be discussion topics. Discussion topics are there. It will last 4 to 5 minutes time. It needs a lot of explanations from you, clear? You will go and you will cover it up. Look, what type of questions can be asked from us, and what we can do for you, what we can provide to you all. All materials will be provided by us. For example, let me show you what type of materials will be provided from us. We have prepared all materials. Now, let me ask you, can you people hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
Look,
sir.
all materials,
Yes,
fine. All materials will be provided from our side, clear? Like these type of, suppose this is speaking portion, clear? For the speaking, all materials are our own materials. We have prepared, clear? You might see on your screen. Like these are the topics related to your part 2 of your IELTS speaking test. This is my question, and how to give answer, clear? How to provide your answer. This is my question. Suppose 100 different type of question that can be asked from you. With model answer we have prepared, we will provide you all the materials inside the class. And this is down, you can see the model answer with vocabulary. Down you can also have the vocabulary portion to cover it up. So in this part, Claire, for task 2, we will provide you 100 topics with model answers that what we have written here. Claire, this is my question. This down, you can have the model answer. The same is the case, Claire, if you go with another portion, Claire, you will be provided, suppose, idioms. Proper idioms will be provided because these are the idioms they are used in your speaking portion. That is from A till Z. Idioms with examples, how can you use, that will be provided to you. Then another portion what we have for the speaking, part 1, part 2, part 3, all different type of questions will be available. Suppose this is what we come up with, different type of questions. Now for part 1, we have covered 100 topics for you. That's about plant, that's about, countryside, photo, Claire. These are the topics, 100 topics are here for part 1. It will be given to you, and all these topics are been given with answer, model answer. Like for example, these are the question, do you know anything about growing plants? So we have also provided the model answer that how you can give your answer. This is the way, Claire. If you move the same way, all materials will be provided to all of you, Claire. Proper materials will be given to everybody, and we will be taking, the class will cover up in 2 months, inshallah. It takes 2 months from us. Let me tell you, the meeting will wind it up. It will be winded up in a while. If once it gets winded up, I'm going to get online again. Okay, so everybody is requested to get online back, because the meeting is for 40 minutes, Claire. It takes 40 minutes time. So if 40 minutes time is clear, if it has been completed, what you people should do, get online again. I will be here, get online back, please. All right. Materials, all the things will be provided to you. Let's come towards the class, that how we will be taking class, Claire. I just want to come up to the important thing, that how we are going to take our class. I'm going to explain you about that. I will give you proper time, Claire, for your question answers. Don't you worry, I'm gonna give you time. Let me finish first, then I'm gonna give you time. Proper time would be given to everyone. Okay, let's come up towards like how we will have our class. Okay, let me talk about that. On daily basis, we will have 1 hour class, online 1 hour class. Suppose we started with one of the modules, Claire. We started, if any of the modules, suppose if we take an example of writing module. So writing, first of all, we will talk about, as I told you, there are 2 tasks. Task 1, we will study about one of the tasks, then we will move with the next task 2. Task 2, task 1 and task 2. Suppose I take a start with that of task 1 or task 2. For task 2, suppose we want to talk about that, Claire. Let me give you a bit of brief instruction about how the class will be followed. For task 2, it's an essay. We will study about an essay, what really an essay is, how to write down about an essay, Claire. What are the different portion of an essay? What are the things you need to carry on? You should know, you should understand about. Whenever I start a class with that for writing, first of all, we talk about sentence writing. What is sentence? First of all, we understand about sentence, and there are 4 different type of sentences that you should know about them. What is compound sentence? What is complex sentence? What is simple sentence? What is compound complex sentences? So I always give clear brief lecture. One of the lecture you will be taking about sentence writing. Once sentence writing is completed, we move on, Claire, about paraphrasing. What are paraphrasing? That what is paraphrasing, and what are the methods of doing paraphrasing? Methods. What are the different methods of doing paraphrasing, Claire? We understand about methods of paraphrasing. Once we're done with paraphrasing and sentence writing, we come up towards the next part, brainstorming. What is brainstorming? We will have a lecture on brainstorming. So once we are done with the brainstorming, we come up the final one with the essay. We start as essay. So I always tell my students that, look, our essay is like a cat. It's like what? It's like a cat. For example, in a cat, we have head, main body, and the last one we have tail. These are the three portions that you should always keep in your mind, clear? Whenever I tell them, head is the introduction part, introduction. The first part is an introduction. How many things are there in introduction part? Clear? I teach my students that how many things are there in introduction. Number one thing, in introduction, we have paraphrasing. And paraphrasing, we would have already been studied before that how to do paraphrasing portion for this, clear? Let me tell you that the meeting is going to wind up. I request everybody to get online again, clear? Because this is the last minute, it will wind up. For the question answer session, we will get back, you know, I will get you back, everybody. So once it gets, so get online back, please.